This next speaker is from Hawaii, and I asked him, why did you become a mathematics educator? While in high school, I had several teachers who helped to change my perception of myself in profound ways. I was inspired to do for others what they did for me. NCTM, give it up for the one and only Dewey Gottlieb.
Hello, NCTM. We're almost through the night. I want to start by asking you two questions. First question is not this one, but we'll go with it. First question is I want you to think about when your students leave you at the end of the school year, and I want you to picture students' faces as you go through this, as you think about this. What are the big goals you have for them, right? What do you want them to take away from their experience learning mathematics with you for an entire school year or semester? I ask this question every time I do a professional learning activity with teachers, and these are some of their responses. These are some of the more common responses that they give. And one of the things that I always ask teachers to do is think about what they believe, what they want for their kids, and how does that align with your instruction and the learning experiences that you provide for them. Second question I'd like to ask you to think about is what's your journey? Thinking about your story as a mathematics learner, as a mathematics teacher, how has that changed over time? And what were some of those moments that provoked you to change? So in thinking about who you bring with you today, was there a teacher, an author, or a student who provoked you to think, maybe I need to do things different, or inspired you to think about yourself as a teacher in a different way? A little bit about my journey. I was born and raised in Hawaii. I graduated from high school and decided to go to Ohio. And after graduating from the University of Dayton, I taught for 3 years at Fairborn High School as a high school mathematics teacher, decided to return home to Hawaii, where I spent 30 years in the Hawaii Department of Education as a teacher and as a state-level mathematics leader. Now I've transitioned. I'm working with Desmo Studio and that amazing graphing calculator and all the people involved with it. And my future will continue to evolve as I move forward, leading through NCTM. And I wanted to share that story, a quick overview, just talk about teacher identity. It evolves over time, and that's been my experience, and I want you to think about yours as well, because it's not a fixed thing, obviously. And what are some of those things along the way that prompted you maybe to grow and think about changing? For me, it was when I realized that those big ideas, those big goals I had for my students were not aligned with how I was actually teaching. I was teaching a particular way that was not helping my kids get to those goals, right? So what were some of those things that I had to wrestle with and say, all right, I need to change my things. One of them was this belief that I had. I never verbalized it, but I had it in my head somewhere when I first started teaching. The kids who were struggling, just give them easier stuff to do so they can get a little bit of success. And what I realized is when I did that, I wasn't giving the full experience of mathematics. I wasn't giving them the story of mathematics. For example, as an analogy, when I went to Japan for the very first time, I started listening to audiobooks, I played Duolingo, and I repeated sentences that other people said that I should learn. But it wasn't until I actually spent a week in Japan making mistakes, talking with people, doing the messy stuff with the language, that I really made an impact on me learning that language. Similarly with mathematics, I needed to give my kids space to make mistakes, to do some rough draft thinking, and matter the types of tasks that I gave them. So kind of this idea about what provoked me to change along the way, it's kind of realizing that it's not that kids need easier stuff to do, we need to engage them in the story of mathematics, let them experience it. A second unproductive belief that I had, and I am ashamed to admit this, somewhere in the back of my head was this, yes, maybe some people just aren't math people, right? And when students say these things, let's listen to their stories. Don't just dismiss it and say, oh, yes, you are, everybody's a math person. There's a reason why they're saying this. The past few years, I supported a bunch of schools in the Hawaii Department of Education to offer U-Cube summer math camps. Fantastic experience for teachers and students. First day of summer math camp, we asked every single teacher to give every student the same survey. And we just asked them about some of their beliefs, about what they most enjoy about learning math. Most common response, nothing, sadly. Then we also asked them what you least enjoy about learning math. Nobody was saying, I hate fractions. What they were saying was feeling confused. It was difficult, boring, frustration, stress, anxiety. People have an emotional experience when they're learning mathematics. And that manifests in a way that when students, by the time they get to ninth grade, these red peaks, I know you can't read everything, represent the words that students most frequently use to describe their experiences and feelings of learning mathematics. In ninth grade, up at the top left corner, exhausted, frustrated. Then we asked them to indicate on a 5-point scale how confident they feel doing math. And the data came back to us as a step function almost, by grade band. Okay? This is tragic. And it's even more tragic that we allow it to persist and that we just accept that to happen. The third unproductive belief that I had to overcome was a little bit of personal, a little selfish maybe, but there were moments along the journey where I was like, is this really worth it? I was working hard. Y'all are working hard. I talk to teachers all the time. People are exhausted. There's so many things going on. You're this flower coming through the cement and the stone with everything being thrown at you. And I want you to take care of yourselves. I want you to find your joy. One of my teachers, there's the quote that was on the previous slide, my first couple years of teaching, it stuck with me for 30 years. So when we think about who you are as a teacher and how you want to design learning experiences for kids and where you want them to go with, my hope for you is that whatever you've learned this week, you will go back and you will look for opportunities to recognize possibilities for growth and embrace that. And hopefully you can figure out a way to take those big ideas, those big goals you have for your students, and try to intentionally connect them to the learning experiences that you design for your students. So thank you very much.